Hey, what is up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you with the January 2nd edition of the Monday Night Raw 5-point preview, leading us up until Monday Night Raw. Honestly, in my opinion, on paper, the 5-point preview doesn't look like it's going to be a very big edition of Monday Night Raw. We have two real big things going down. The return of Goldberg, where he's going to come out and talk about the upcoming Royal Rumble, which is a month away. And then we have Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn in a last man standing match, which was booked last week. Honestly, in my opinion, the Goldberg return came out of the middle of nowhere. A lot of times when it comes to guys like Brock Lesnar or Goldberg having their returns, these are things that are discussed. We know which days they're coming back. We know that The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels are going to be making an appearance on Monday Night Raw, I believe next week from New Orleans. Nobody really knows what these guys are going to be doing there, especially since we haven't seen Undertaker actually officially return to WWE. He's not in the Royal Rumble, so there's no real reason for him to be there. And they're treating it as if he's going to be actually on television and not a sort of treat for the fans there. There's rumors now that New Orleans is going to be getting WrestleMania, and that might be the reasons why Shawn Michaels and Undertaker are there, maybe as treats for the fans. Everybody has known basically one of the last times that Monday Night Raw comes to a city before they make the WrestleMania announcement. They like to really pump it up to get a large live gate, trying to make it a big ordeal so that way they get press. When they make the actual WrestleMania announcement, they get a nice little number. They packed so many fans into the Smoothie King Arena in New Orleans, and it really was a big deal that WrestleMania is coming up around the corner, making its return for WrestleMania 34. This edition of Monday Night Raw, honestly, to me, is going to be a big deal because of the factor that even though we have this 5-point preview, last week it was big news that SmackDown drew a larger rating than Monday Night Raw for the first time in a long time. SmackDown on paper looked like it was a big pay-per-view event. It had a main event. I believe it had two different title matches. Three in all. The main event was a World Heavyweight Championship match. You had a women's title match between Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch, which is pretty much a big-time rivalry rematch right now in the women's division of SmackDown. You had American Alpha winning the tag titles. There was big deals all across the board on SmackDown. And on Monday Night Raw last week, it was treated as if we're just crawling our way through the holidays and just praying that once we get there. Over the history of time, the first edition of Monday Night Raw of the calendar year normally is really treated as if it is a big deal. They don't really have the fireworks set. I think that we're going to be getting a lot of things about the Royal Rumble, whether that's those boring matches where people sort of qualify and they just sort of put Chris Jericho against Titus O'Neil. And you're like, gee, I wonder who's going to win this match. It just is what it is. But hopefully, when things happen like this with SmackDown beating Monday Night Raw, you'll see Vince go into the writer's room. Damn it, folks. We gotta switch it up. We gotta grab it by the balls. And, fix some stuff. I can remember actually going to a Monday Night Raw in October a few years ago. And, Vince put himself in the main event against CM Punk in a no disqualification match where they beat the piss out of each other with kendo sticks because of the fact that they were tired of losing in the ratings to Monday Night Football, and Vince knew that he had to do something in order to make people change the channel. And I think honestly at that time, as well as Monday Night Football, there was the Major League Baseball playoffs, and it was like R-Truth was in the ring with Brodus Clay, doing some sort of a stupid match with Little Jimmy, and there was a break in the action, whether if it was halftime or a rain delay. Vince got on the screen and basically just said, boom, this is over, get to the back, we're going to commercial, and when we come back, I'm coming out. because he knew this was a downtime where fans needed something to watch because there was no football and there was no baseball going on at that time, and they were going to change to wrestling, and he wanted to give them a reason to watch. So I'm not really sure what that is going to be. I know that we're not going to be getting a WWE Universal title change or anything like that, but they got to pull something out of their hat. That's a really big deal. Goldberg is a big name, but we've already seen Goldberg return, hyping up Survivor Series, and it's not like we've been really sitting here on pins and needles waiting for Goldberg to make another return to WWE. Here it is in January. So I'm hoping this is going to be a good show, but I'm not really 100% sure. Goldberg coming back, we've already seen him talk and talk and talk. We did see him beat up Brock Lesnar for 90 seconds, winning that match at Survivor Series. If they had that match 100 more times, I don't think there's any more times out of 100 that Goldberg is going to beat Brock Lesnar in 90 seconds. So, just having them in the same ring at the Royal Rumble is going to be huge. But we'll have to see what happens when it comes down, because I think they're just basically setting up WrestleMania 33. Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman, to me, honestly, should be a one-sided affair. Braun Strowman actually beating Sami Zayn in the last man standing match, because of the fact that it's a last man standing match. Sami Zayn can probably pick up a pipe or a kendo stick, or if it's like, a la Daniel Bryan and Kane, Sami Zayn can hit Braun Strowman with a car to gain some offense for a minute. But when it comes down to it, Braun Strowman is probably going to beat Sami Zayn, and I wouldn't be surprised if Sami Zayn gets beat so bad that he basically has to sit on the sideline of WWE until the Royal Rumble, where he makes his return, where he actually gets to eliminate Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman, to me right now, I think is being hyped up because they want to see a monster in the Royal Rumble that people think has a shot to win this match, even though I think we all know that Braun Strowman's not winning the Royal Rumble. And I think that's just all it is. I wouldn't be surprised if by WrestleMania, Braun Strowman is sort of forgotten. He's just a hot guy getting a push right now because they need somebody that people are going to think that is going to be challenging for the championship at WrestleMania, throwing people in different directions like the wrestling rumors that we get each and every week. The big main event of the Royal Rumble for Monday Night Raw is going to be Kevin Owens going up against Roman Reigns. This, of course, is going to have Chris Jericho in the shark cage up around the ring. I would love to see Goldberg maybe do some sort of interacting. I know that he's not going to wrestle, but seeing Goldberg maybe, talk the talk with Goldberg and Kevin Owens, where Goldberg is basically sort of being run down by Kevin Owens because of the fact that Kevin Owens thinks that Goldberg is actually coming after the Universal Championship and was basically telling him that he doesn't really have a chance. I think that would be something that would be really good to build to the future. It's building fans questioning what is going to happen if this guy or this guy or this guy wins the Royal Rumble. On 205 Live this week, we had Neville beating Rich Swann in a non-title match. Nobody told me. I saw the pinfall. I went a little bit crazy. And then the show just ended. So no doubt in my mind they're building up to, I guess, Neville versus Rich Swann at the pay-per-view. Or maybe they'll do the title change there. But that's something that, Neville's pretty cool, but he's not going to be really making me run to change the channel to watch this guy. Bayley versus Charlotte, the match has pretty much already been named, I think, so I don't know what you really do to build for this match, but I'm looking forward to it. I think that Charlotte's going to win, and there's no chance for Bayley to be the champion yet, but anything can happen if Vince thinks he needs to push a number, because Charlotte can lose because it's not a pay-per-view. But this is the edition of Monday Night Raw with the 5-point preview. We'll add this on to where we talk about Goldberg a little bit more, as well as talking about Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman. I'll see you guys down the road, and peace out, everybody.